योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्।
Namaskar, I Dr. Chirag Waghela thanks UGC Human Resource Development Center of Gujarat University for giving me an opportunity to connect with you and delivering a session on the significance of technologies in Tokyo Olympics 2020. I thank Dr. Professor Jagdish Joshi, Professor and Director UGC HRDC of Gujarat University. I also thank the team HRDC Gujarat University. I would like to appreciate their efforts that they have done wonderful job in past and they are constantly working upon it. They are one of the best in the nation in conducting such online courses. Best wishes to them. I would like to start my presentation. The significance of technologies in Tokyo Olympics 2020. I, Dr. Chirag Waghela, currently working as Student Activity and Sports Officer at Sardar Vallabhbhai National Institute of Technology, Surat. Why we are studying this topic? Basically, Tokyo Olympic is the biggest event in the sporting and physical education industry. And Japan is known for its technologies and scientific inventions. If we see, they have numerous vehicle technologies and multiple well-known brands with them. Brands like Toyota, Honda, Daihatsu, Nissan, Suzuki, Mazda, Isuzu, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Mitsubishi. Such brands belong to Japan, and some of the brands are also doing business in India. They are also par excellence in consumer electronics. Brand like Akai, Brother, Canon, Casio, Citizen, Fujifilms, Fujitsu, Hitachi, JVC Kanggood, Mitsubishi, Nikon, Olympus, Panasonic, Pioneer, Ricoh, Seiko Group, Sharp, Sony, TDK, Toshiba, and Yamaha. These are the well-known brand belongs to Japan, and many products we are consuming in India also. In robotics, Japan is having edge over other countries. They are having excellent invention done in past, and they have used multiple robots in the administration of the Tokyo Olympic. In robotics, the companies like known brands Danos, Fanco, Hitachi, Kawasaki, Heavy Industry, Mitsubishi, Panasonic Corporation, Sony, Toshiba, Yamaha Motor Company, Yaskawa Electric Corporation, and brand of medical devices producers Nipro, Cymax, Neon, Fukuda, Omoro, Konica, Monolta, Manicon, Shimadzu Corporation are also some of the known brands of the Japan. So Japan is basically technological giant, and hence they have conducted one of the most technological advanced Olympics ever. And that's why we are putting our efforts to know and gather and analyze the information available that which kind of technologies they have used. Being an Indian and working in field of physical education and sports, we should take it as a case study to prepare ourselves to host upcoming Olympic. Our Honorable Prime Minister is already trying to get approval to host Olympics in Ahmedabad in year 2036. So this will be a useful study for all of us. Japan have also demonstrated excellence in space exploration, intensive mathematics, and there is a culture of having a good quality engineers at the workplace. They are world leaders in automotive engine, technology of television, video games, optical clocks, and other fields like robotics, restaurant operations, and the hospitals. Now, we are starting with our first technology used in Japan during Tokyo Olympic 2020, and that was used in transportation. FCEVs, the 500 cars which runs on the hybrid technology were given for the transportation of the team participants and team officials. So this is one of the car you can see. Total approximately 800 vehicles were given to operate the event, and FCEVs were one of it. Now, why this technology important? It's a fuel cell electric vehicle, so it is powered by the hydrogen. Means as a fuel, this car requires electricity and water. On this combined fuel, it runs 482 kilometers in single charge, and it takes only 4 minute time to get refueled. It only emits water vapor, hot air, and that's it. No smoke, no carbon dioxide, no carbon monoxide, no other carbon particles in environment. So there is no harmful emissions from this vehicle, and it also strengthens the economy because you do not require to import crude from other countries to run such vehicle. That's why this kind of vehicle will be the future, and in near future we will also see such vehicle will be used in upcoming Olympic Games. Another service they have provided was like the self-driven fetch and ferry. It was a autonomous vehicle. Why this vehicle was used? First of all, it was a self-driven vehicle. Means vehicle do not require any human power to get it drive. There was no driver in it. Suppose it was not a self-driven vehicle and it's a normal manually operated vehicle, then there might have some challenges while the operation. First of all, the language. The local driver may not be able to communicate with you in your language. They are Japanese people, so this kind of miscommunication, such kind of miscommunication may take place when you talk with the person who don't know your language. So that error has been reduced. Another thing, there are multiple spiral bridges in Tokyo and many other world-class cities. So when some human drive on such path on track, there is a chance that he may choose the wrong path or go in a wrong direction or choose the wrong lane. But as these vehicles are already programmed to run on particular path, there is a less chance that the vehicle goes to some other location which is not programmed. So it saves time and efficiently communicate and transport the people between departure and arrival point. And actually these vehicles are already planned and introduced in year 2019 at different auto expos, at different consumer electronic expos. But after that, the spread out of COVID-19 happened, and in that case, this vehicle turned as a boon to us. Because suppose if it was a instead of self-driven, a manual-driven car or the vehicle, and driver may get infection or come in contact with someone who is COVID positive at that time, just before the day of event, he might has to go for the quarantine, and in that case, the participants has to face the consequences. So by the self-driven vehicles, such things is eliminated completely, or we can say the chances of error is reduced at great extent. No overtime issue means you can take help of this vehicle at any time because there is no driver required. No complaint of fatigue. It's a machine. It has to work according to given command. These vehicles work on line detection technology. There are multiple cameras placed upon the vehicle, and those cameras keep rotating, keep circulating themselves and take data from the 360-degree views. So it constantly observe things happening around the vehicle, where the other vehicles are coming from, in which direction other vehicles are going, which vehicle is going to take over, which vehicle is following this vehicle. So such data this machine is calculating constantly, and it do not jump the lane, it not change the lane all of a sudden. There are road lines marked where the vehicle were used, and that vehicle use only single lane. It works in single lane to avoid the accident. So these are the safest mode of transportation. Another thing, if we compare such vehicle with a manually driven vehicle, being a human, we have some limitations. We cannot remember all the road signboards. We cannot remember all the signboard, but the program machines, the program vehicle can recognize all the signboard, and it acts accordingly based on the algorithm plan for them. Now we are going to talk about the second technology. Japan being a robotic giant, they have multiple robots and they are already shown world their expertise in automation also. Their robotic services are used in multiple companies across the globe, and they have taken help of this kind of robotic science on many occasions. So they have developed the mascots named Mariatova and Someti. These are the robots which are the mascot of the event Tokyo 2020. So they are just not the ordinary mascot developed by the foams, cottons, or the plastic or a balloon. They are the robot which were placed at the different entrance of the different venues, and their duty were to welcome the athlete, spectator, provide information. If someone asks the question, they can reply. They were having camera installed in their forehead, so they can help the technical team to broadcast the live things also. They were also trained to identify the age and gender of the people, and accordingly they can change the screen of their eyes. Their eyes are actually not a drawing or painting, it's a digital screen. So they give response according to age, gender. Like if someone is a spectator who is a toddler or a kid or small children. So this robot will react in a different way. It will have a little bit of fun kind of interaction, whereas someone is very elderly, this kind of robot will ask them about their health and what the uh, help they require, what information they are looking for. So that kind of program has been installed in this robot. Another and most important robot was FSR, Field Support Robot. These robots were programmed to replace the volunteers. Especially, they were proved themselves very helpful in throwing event. Once the athlete throws the javelin, disc, shot put, or hammer on the field, the official nearby just has to lift up that object and put it in the FSR robot. Then FSR robot has program, it find its own way, and without any collision or going through any obstacle, it straight go to the point where the items are to be submitted. The another So these kind of robots are also used in the factories, like it's a BMW factory, and these are the self-guided robots. They are lifting the weight. The human cannot lift this much weight with the balance, cannot continuously work 24 hours. These robots are designed. So the concept of FSR was taken by this kind of industrial robot, and the concept of this is taken from such industrial robot. It also reduce the time, because it don't go for the lunch break. This kind of robot don't require to have a smoke break or loo breaks. So it works continuously, and it also synchronizes with other robots to avoid the injuries. So basically, it works on the laser guided technology. So once you bring this robot to your location, your place, your home, it will access entire space at its own, and it creates the map accordingly, and then it starts its own work. So on similar concept, the vacuum cleaners are also designed. You might be aware of such vacuum cleaners currently available at home, and these combination of technologies are placed for field support robot. Now, there is another wearable robots was developed by the technology produced by Panasonic, and the company's name is Auton, which has increased the wearable robot. So these robots work specially for the Paralympic athletes, the people of elderly age and people who cannot walk without caliper, or people who use wheelchair. So these people can wear this wearable robot, and this wearable robot help them to stand, to walk, and lift weight also. Such robots are also useful to lift up the weight. So the volunteer who are shifting the goods from one place to another can take help of this robot and increase, and this robot actually increases the weightlifting capacity by 10 kg. So these robots were used by the volunteers who were shifting the item from one place to another, and it is being used for the Paralympic athletes also. So people with the locomotor syndrome and musculoskeletal disease can use this robot. Another robot was THR3. THR3 was preliminary designed and made to do remote operations in field of medicals or to work as a volunteer. So basically THR3 mirror the action of the controller who is operating it. So the one person who is at stadium do not require to run after the people to whom they want to pass any message or communication. If you want to call someone, so you no need to go to him personally, physically. In COVID situation, you have to maintain the social distance also. So on your behalf, the robot THR3 will go to the athlete and tell them that you are at the wrong place. You have to go to the starting line, or you have to go to the reporting desk, or you are called to receive your this item or that item. So this kind of work was done with the help of THR3. This robot is actually capable to perform medical surgeries also. So the doctor can remain at his own country or place, and if he is not able to travel, the robot, which is at the city or the country, can perform the operation at its own as per the commands given from the controller. So VR display will be used by the doctor to get the real view of the scenario at the place. which will be transmitted through the camera which is installed in the head of THR-3. So it was used as a volunteer and the person who can move around in the stadium for helping the people. There are some other robots were also introduced in this game. There was a TTR-1. The best part of TTR-1, it was having a large display. So currently what we are using is the mobile phone to communicate via video conversation or video calling. But these large lifelike screen help to create the lifelike scenario. Like the user will feel that he is actually communicating with the person who is just behind the glass. This is quite portable and it was used to provide information. So when there is a group somewhere or residing in the Olympic village, this robot will go and display the information on the screen. The person who needs the information, any change in program or any upcoming bus transport plan, all can be displayed on this live movable screen. So that robot was used for those things. Another robots, there are 5 different other robots was used for delivery and human support. So the first one you can see is the delivery support robot and second is human support robot. So delivery support robot was used to deliver the food, medals, certificates, documents, the beach number, and those kind of things were delivered with the help of delivery support robot. These robots used to move around, identify the people, and deliver and hand over the things to them. It was also used in the stadium. It was supposed to use, but there was a limited spectators. Only the officials were allowed. So if they need water, some consumable item, these robots were delivering them. The human support robot, which is the tallest one with the minor screen upon it, was used to help exchange information and also was used to identify and verification. So it was placed at the critical point, entrance point of the event, where you have to show your iCard, and the camera of this robot used to recognize is the person who is showing the iCard and the person who is wearing is actually the person or not. So after the recognition only, this robot was allowing athletes to get into the arena. So this way, this robotics science was used in form of robot. There were other 3 robots, but which was not used for the Tokyo Olympics. The most advanced thing happened in the sports research thing was Intel's Axos technology merger with the Alibaba cloud service. So they have developed a 3D athlete tracking system. Previously, to do the biomechanical analysis, the real-time analysis was not possible. You have to call the athletes to the research laboratory or the studio where we have to place several white balls, sensor, magnetic items on their body, and then we have to connect that one point to another point and make our own skeleton structure. Then we have to save that video and give input to the software, and that software used to give the data. But now Intel and Alibaba combined, they have developed a technology where real-time live analysis is possible with the help of camera only the simple camera with mobile phone. And that was provided live at the venue to the coaches. So you are able to see the biomechanical analysis of your own athlete as well as the competitors also. And what kind of data it had provided? It was able to provide visual for biomechanical analysis, body angles, stride length, acceleration points, and that all were the real time. And it has also helped to analyze other athletes also, because whatever your camera is capturing, it is able to analyze movement of all the athletes. And this data you can use to develop the required shoes, rackets, or other equipment as per the data information and the interpretation done by you or the analyzer. The specialty is no sensor required, as I said earlier. The only athlete is required in camera, and you don't need to bring the athlete to the studio or any lab. On the field, when they are actually participating, at that time you can collect the data. That is the most amazing thing. And data they were providing was a size, skeleton, structure, then analysis matrix with the peak velocity, position, peak acceleration position. So where at which point the athlete was at his top speed, those kind of things. Average stride length, stride count, how many stride he used to complete the distance, then animated key points, and such data can be downloaded by the paid services. And for these, Intel and Alibaba had used the 5 camera to provide it the matrix kind of image. The matrix movie they have shown the 360-degree view of the object, and the similar effect can be done with the help of 5 camera. In single camera, you can have the all the above features, but for the 3D vision, you need that 5 camera vision. Another most interesting thing happened is the Chinese boxing team has used 3D printed shoes. 3D printed shoes means it's different from regular shoes. If you can see the sole, our regular shoes is having hard firm sole. The 3D printing shoes is having this net base, completely spongy, flexible sole, and it is created by the recycled plastic. Means a used plastic bottle, some rubber portion, those kind of things are used to create this kind of flexible shoes. And it was developed by Antas. Antas is a very well-known brand which has done multiple innovation for the Chinese team. So this year, the Antas was like very popular among the athletes. So Nike was the first shoes brand which was used by the majority of medalists, and the second was the Antas. And you can see the completely different structure of the sole. And the best part is in 3D printing, you can design your own shoes, especially soles. You can design your own shoes. You can do it according to your exact accurate size. You can make it as per your requirement, just like you are taking printout from your computer as per your requirement, doing adjustment in your Word file or your Photoshop, and you get the printed photo. The same way this technology works, but in 3D pattern. So this kind of sole. So for the sports purpose, you cannot use any plastic, any bottle. So there is a particular material is called thermoplastic polyurethane that was used, and this is a gray color sole developed by it. It's not a black and white photo. And this is a printer. It is just equal to the size of our all-in-one kind of printer. All-in-one we are using in our office. The similar size of this 3D printer. Just you have to give the input of some rayons fibers, and it will create shoes for you. So what are the advantages? First of all, you can design according to your requirement. You can try new manufacturing process. You can do experiment and you can try multiple different type of shoes. Then it has numerous possibilities. You can have completely 3D printed shoes. You can have partially 3D printed. You can club the 3D printed sole with the fabrics, with the rayons, and that way you can do numerous things. It's environment friendly because of it uses the recycled plastic or used plastic. and high performance material is developed. I have seen multiple videos of this kind of shoes, and they are very flexible. They absorb the shock very nicely, high elasticity, they are very flexible shoes. It can return the energy. It can work upon the third principle of the Newton's third law, action and reaction, very nicely. It's comfort fit because of the material is a rubberized material, and the cost is less than $10 per bag. It's a very cheap. The another technology was used and introduced by the company called Speedo, and it has designed the swimsuit for the American swimming team. The fast skin suits, as there are two different kind of swimming costume they have developed. And what were the benefits of this swimming costume? First of all, this kind of swimming costume were used by the more than half of the world record breaking swimmers. The new fabric has been designed. Actually, this kind of swimming costume was banned previously. After some modification in rules, regulation, and modification in garments, the company has developed the new product with the new kind of material. So it improves the flexibility. Even the swimming costumes are supposed to get stick with the body, but still it was developed to maintain the flexibility of athlete and itself. Then compression. Compression is very important. In upcoming slide, I will demonstrate you why this compression is important. And it reduces the drag. More lightweight velour. There are the two suits. The second suit was the velour, which is specially designed for the compression and increase the buoyancy. The entire suit was designed with the help of Natural History of Museum of Natural History, London, and Formula One to understand the hydrodynamics. So they have used the aerodynamics chamber to access the hydrodynamics, because Formula One people always doing experiment and research on the aerodynamics. So same infrastructure was used to measure the hydrodynamics. And they studied the shark's movement and skin to reduce the drag. Now, if you see the rays or arrows, you can see is the frontal resistance in swimming. The dotted line is a friction, and the last one is the eddies, or it creates the drag. So there is three kind of resistance are there in swimming, and this swimming costume directly reduce the screen friction first. And now in the latest technology, they are able to reduce the eddies also. So it reduces the resistance as greater extent. Now to understand the compression, you see the weight pulls the swimmer down, the buoyancy help is to remain on the water surface, then the arm pull action helps swimmer to move forward, that is called thrust, and the water which get pulled behind the swimmer is called the drag. So the compression basically give shape to the torso to maintain the buoyancy. It increases the floating capacity of the body, and it also compresses the hip area, which reduces the resistance. And the third benefit is that the swimming costume move the water at terms in such way that drag also get reduced. So that was the invention of the Speedo company. And this swimming costume, after use, currently the information is not, but previously when the older version was available, the biological material also used of the fish skin, and these swimming costumes were supposed to keep in freeze, but that is now not available. How to contain these swimming suit? The another technology was used. It is not a new invention, but it is a very useful technology, that is called the lane touchpad technology. Lane touchpad technology is used in swimming. You can see here the three swimmers are completing the race together. For a human, it is very difficult to judge the thing. You cannot see completely clear because On many occasions, swimmer finishes their race by touching the wall under the water instead of over the water. So there are touch panels placed at the both end of the pool. In this photo, you can see the yellow color, that is actually a panel. Now here you can see it visibly. These are the very thin, made of a plastic, constant power supply. You can see the black cables attached to each and every panel. So the slightest touch can be observed by these touch panels, and it gives the correct calculation of the timing of the swimmer. The similar kind of panels are also placed on the starting block, so it can measure the false start. It can also identify whether the proper relay start has been done or not, because sometimes it happens in swimming when the incoming swimmer, outgoing swimmer, which is about to finish his turn, he tried to touch the wall, and before he touched, the swimmer upon the block leave the block. So to stop that kind of thing, the company called Omega, who is always doing timekeeping for the Olympic Games, has introduced this technology. So this time they have combined the lane touch panel with the starting block panel. So they both work combinedly and give us the exact data, because in uh, 1 by 600 time means if you break 1 second in 600 part, that much accuracy they provide. So with that much precise decision we can get with the help of these panels. So single panel is demonstrated over here. You can see how it looks. So it has a little bit of texture upon it. So the swimmer who is taking turn or touch cannot get slip. They can get proper friction to take push off. The push off is required when they take turns in swimming. It is not like athletic track in swimming, it's lap swimming. So at the both end, they have to go, they flip, they do flip turn, means they do somersault in water. They then kick both the legs on the panel. So these panels are used to be strong. So these panels are lightweight, waterproof, very strong, easy to move and insert, and these are the sealed switches, so there is no chances of short circuit. It's a wet surface, so they have to be little bit about waterproof, and it is able to record the lightest touch. Okay, so but it has a very good quality that it do not get disturbed or get activated by the water splash. It has to get touched by a human for the recording. Another technology used in Tokyo Olympic was the open water gate. This open water gate technology is actually used in marathon swimming. Marathon swimming is open water swimming. It is to be done in lake or lake water, salt water, means any sea or any river. It's a 10-kilometer distance. So at the middle of the distance or at the turning location, you can keep this. So there is a tent. There are 3-4 swimmers around it. There is a one orange colored pillar, which is a turning indicator. So all the swimmer receives wristband from the organizer. So that wristband start when they leave the platform, when they leave the starting block, and they start swimming. Once they leave the starting platform, the data start received by these red colored tank. There are some receivers you can see upon it. There are 2 antennas which receive the constant information, which swimmer is first leading, what speed he is doing, and that way it transmit constant data at the finish line. So judge can keep the track of the swimmers, and at the end the similar panels which we have used in swimming pool, that was yellow color. In open water it's a white color, because water is generally black, so white is visible. So in that they used to keep it above the water because in swimming pool water is little bit clear. Underwater touches can also be observed through the camera, but in open water the water may not be so clear. That's why the finish pads are in the air, up in the air above the water surface. So there was a technology provided by the Omega for the open water swimming. The new track was introduced and a record in women's 100-meter race. It was a 33-year record broke. And then people started noticing this track. So that is a material which helps 1 to 2% of performance. So athlete who is using this track can have little bit advantage. And there is a new shoes by the Nike company. The Vapor shoes was also introduced, which has also helped the athlete at greater extent. And there are very important record broke in 400-meter hurdle. Record broke and it went below 46 seconds. 100-meter women's record was also broke. So these are the important events happened. So this track is 14 thin track. When they develop the track, the producer make it in a two-way. One thing, they develop it in some other place and then they install that what they have done in Tokyo Olympics. Another things happen. First, they prepare the surface which is about to remain under the track, and upon that they develop the entire track. So what happens when they develop the track at the venue? It has an uneven thickness, so uneven bounce. But in this case, they have developed 14 thin track at somewhere else, and then they have placed it. Another advantage of this track was it was not used much, so it has adequate friction. If you see the surface, top surface, it is quite adequate friction in compared to the large granule tracks which we are currently observing in India. So it is a completely new material, and they have changed it with the lower layer. This black lower layer is having hexagonal spores in it, which sucks the air, and when we apply pressure upon it during running, it absorbs the shock very nicely and give the push to the athletes. It returns that pressure generated upon it, and that effect is called the trampoline effect. And the best part is it exactly gives the response or the return of that effort or pressure with the timing the athletes take off its leg. So means there is no delay in trampoline effect. It's actually help the athletes to push the track hard. So more hard they put efforts, the more benefits they get. That kind of track has been developed for the Tokyo 2020. It is made as per the rules. They have worked with the other International Organization of Athletic Federation, and according to rules they have done. All lane are made safe because it was produced somewhere else, which I already explained initially. And the material is like their secret they have kept. They have not revealed many information to have the monopoly over the product. The product is similar to F1 tire. That's what they have said. The technology other used by the Omega is photo finish. If we see in this photo, it is very difficult to say who have finished the first. But in photo finish, we can see the one person is having slight edge over it. So this is not a single photo. It is actually combination of 10,000 photos. So the camera of photo finish takes 10,000 photo with the high high pixels in wide, but in verticals it has only one single pixel. So it takes photo in lines only, and then that camera develop one final picture with help of multiple frames. In single seconds, photo finish camera takes 10,000 photographs It combines all the photograph, makes some calculation, and on the basis of that, it develop one photograph, and that we are currently watching. So that technology is also used in Tokyo Olympic in many races, and this is the camera, Scanovision Myra camera, which takes 10,000 frames per second. The best part of this camera is it is not an ordinary camera which has a shutter. It's a shutterless camera, so it do not miss any single frame. Okay, it is specially designed camera for finish. We generally have seen the people using their mobile phone or ordinary camera as a photo finish, but actually the photo finish cameras are specially designed for these things. So the resolution in wide horizontal is high, vertical is only 1 pixel, and as I said, 10,000 photographs per second are taken, and according to the calculation, the interpretation is made, and within the few seconds, the judges has to declare the result, so no manipulation can take place. So it gives the result very quickly, and within the 7 seconds, the judges give their decision. The new starting gun was also introduced in this Olympic game. Previously, it was something else kind of gun. Let's see. So in 1948, this kind of equipment was attached with the starting gun, where the finish line is having some light beam, and with the combination of the starting gun and the light beam, the entire system was established like that. But there were some other challenges. This was the gun last used in 2010. Before that, the real gun were also used. There were some disadvantages. When we see the race of 100-meter race, the decision of the finishes depend, or the result will depend in single microsecond or few microseconds. So the microseconds are also important. So there was an argument from the athletes and the organization. When we use the gun, the real gun, the person, the athlete nearest to the starter is having advantages or advantage by the microseconds. To eliminate that thing, the Omega has introduced this new gun. So what happens with this gun when they use this gun? So you can see there is a white portion at the top, which is actually the bulb. So that bulb light up, the sound comes behind the starting block of the each and every athlete, and to delay, to stop or reduce the delay of any kind of, they have kept length of the all the wire of the all the speakers placed behind the block same. They have kept the distance of wire even same. So previously there was advantage to the athletes who were able to see the smoke and get the idea the gun is fired. There was another issues with the real gun were that was under the captivity of the starter for few days, and he might use it for some inappropriate work. So they have completely changed and introduced you this new electrical device, which is now a starting gun, used as a starting gun. So this kind of setup, the starting gun gives command. So watch of the all the blocks start together, then photo finish, and there are the chipsets are also placed, like in skating it is placed below the knee. There are some chipsets placed below the knee of the archers also, and in running there are the chipsets are placed at the bead number. So cumulatively they get the information. Now for the false start detection system, you can see the yellow color portion behind the blocks. So these devices measure the pressure and it calculates the time difference. Once we use our starting gun, then athletes are supposed to release or leave the block after 0.10 seconds. If athlete leaves before that, athlete leaves the block before 0.10 seconds means he has taken early start. The experts have considered that no athlete can give reaction time below 0.10 seconds. So that time is considered as a false start. And these yellow boxes detect the release of pressure because when athletes place the feet on the block, the constant pressure start observed or received by these devices. So here in 2011, the Usain Bolt was disqualified due to the false start. So these are the gray color box you can see are the observant or the devices placed behind the starting block, and this is the receiver connected with the starting gun. So this device calculates the reaction time and accordingly decides the false start. After introduction of this device, you can see this device in detail. Previously, in major events, average 28 false start used to take place in single major event between 2007 to 2010. And after introduction of this technology, only 10 false start in major championship. And the precision is very high. It is able to measure 1 millionth part of the second. Previously it was a 0.5, now it is changed and it has turned to 0.1 part. Okay, so that is the great like 5 times better technology was used. Now there is a very interesting technology introduced in Tokyo Olympic that is called vision based heart rate monitor. Means there is no attachment is done with the athlete, but there is a one receiver is placed below the knee, and you can see there are two cartoon box. There are two gray khaki color box are there. So these boxes are actually covers for the camera, and there is a camera on the railing and around. So there are with the help of multiple cameras which are placed at a 12-meter distance. Observe the change in the color of skin. Then it also observe the change in dilation of pupil, means eyeball. And on the basis of that, it calculates the heart rate. Then it shows on the television. Okay, that observed heart rate is not allowed to demonstrate at the venue, so athlete might get distracted. That's why just to give the real time tension, the feeling, anxiety, what athletes are going through. So they are showing it on the television for the spectator only. By this data, now athletes can see the recording and they can understand at which heart rate they are able to hit the 10 pointer, 8 pointer, or how their psychology were behaving in the first stage of the competition and the second stage of competition. And that kind of data we can have through these cameras. It's a very interesting technology. It's a vision-based heart rate monitor. It collects the data real time and broadcast it to the television. Swiss company Tabrasco miniature device is placed just below the archer's knee. It's monitor the heart rate during the different stages of match. Panasonic camera capture the skin color. So there are lots of inputs are taken. There's a device below the knee. Then there are cameras which are observing the eye pupil dilation. Then there are the camera which are observing the skin color change. So these are the 4 cameras placed at 12-meter distance, and on the basis of that we get the data on television. is another interesting invention done by the American team. There are lots of changes have been made in uniform and racing industry in these Olympic, and there are the Ralph company special suits designed for the flag bearer of the USA team. So you can see at the top of the backside there is a small fan, and inside the jacket there are mini batteries and completely air conditioned system is placed to avoid the dehydration, fatigue, and the effect of climatic condition. This dress what was used by the Ralph company, and the known brands are under this company, and they are designing the uniform of USA since many Olympics. Now this is quite interesting. Antaz is a Chinese company. The Anta company have made weightlifting shoes for the Chinese team. They have spent $460 million in research of sportswear for 28 teams of the China. Now these shoes are 25 times more stronger than the regular weightlifting shoes, and it can handle weight of 1000 kg. So this kind of innovation is done by the Anta. Anta this time they have developed anti-grab suit for the wrestling. So the opponent cannot easily grab the Chinese wrestler. So these kind of innovations they have done in this Olympic. Anti-grab technology, they have specially designed fabrics which reduce the friction, and they have also developed the new component for the competitive gymnastic and trampoline. So that suits basically give the compression, reduce the impact of wind or air in the air, and it helps the athlete to maintain their position, posture, or make them able to change the direction when they are aerial. Means when they are in the air, they are able to reduce the effect of wind. In the OBS pioneer broadcasting technology, this time high level of broadcasting technology was introduced. Previously, everything was delivered on the live television. Now the people are using more cloud-based technology, so lots of data has been consumed. So ultra high definition dynamic range was introduced in the television recording, and all the arenas total 3600 microphones were used. So to give a real life like experience, microphones are placed in all different locations, and that advantage was given to the viewers at the home, and the complete effort has been given to make it more real as possible. And for that, they have introduced 3D graphics, 3D model, and especially in wall climbing, there was a new event introduced that is called sports climbing. If you want to see the wall climbing or the sports climbing event on your VR set, that you can see it in 3D. You can have the real angle to angle exactly replica of the real thing on your screen. So you can experience the what angles, what are the degree of difficulty, how the hinges are placed, how the knobs are placed. So that kind of broadcasting has been done this time. Virtual zooming and close-up was also available, and for that only ultra high definition broadcasting has been done. Multiple camera replay system developed by Intel, and the matrix effect is done. When the film Matrix was shot, they have used more than 360 kind. They have used many cameras, almost like 20-30 camera in circular position to get that matrix effect shot. But this time Intel have done it with help of few cameras only. So many events they have captured in that fashion. which were telecasted, and I have seen that event 100-meter dash. This technology I have seen in 100-meter dash. OBS has taken cloud service of Alibaba, and the panoramic coverage has been done. Panoramic coverage means not like the panoramic photo what we get in our mobile phone. There was a special camera. This was the camera. It's a complete unit. You can see it's a hexagonal. So on each angle there is one camera. So at a time you can have a 360-degree view. So in that fashion the recording has been done, and then it was transmitted to our television. This kind of recording is done, and it is played in many science centers. You might get chance when they show the stars and all. So in that there is, yes, that is called planetarium. There are many planetariums, especially the American company 3. Previously, it was a sponsor of Australian cricket team. The Australian company 3 is developing such kind of audiovisual setups. So the panoramic camera technology was used to show the events. So you can see the things happening behind you, left, right, everything. So that kind of things are transmitted and telecasted in the planetariums also. Then hypoxic altitude training system was used by American training centers. In Colorado, they have this hypoxic altitude training system. So what they have done is they have created weather, climate according to Japan, and their athlete used to do their fitness regime in that weather, and they used to collect data that how much dehydration is possible, what kind of nutrition will be good in this weather, which athlete is required, what kind of help, either any muscular camp is happening, and what kind of wearables what kind of t-shirts, shoes will be more helpful in that condition, and that all they have measured in the hypoxic altitude training system center. They have also done the high-tech brain training. So they have basically programmed their athlete to remain focused, mentally calm, more organized, more synchronized, and they able to get settled in the environment as soon as possible. So those things have been done. So at the conclusion, I would say it was a most advanced, technologically most advanced event happened, and it has crossed many milestones in terms of invention, especially by the quantum technology of Omega. Omega is the official timekeeper of the Olympic Games, and it has improvised a lot, more precise, more accurate, more swift product they have produced. There are many other inventions done. There are lots of new fibers in sportswear. 3D technology shoes introduced, cooling system for the garment. New swimming suit has emerged. Then weightlifting shoes, new weightlifting shoes, new 3D boxing shoes has been introduced. Lots of things happened. Lots of help has been taken by the robotic science, and it is one of the most advanced Olympic ever. I hope if India gets chance in 2036, we might do more invention, and hope we do more better organization and conduct and management of the event. These are the links from where we have received the information. And before I leave, I would like to thank UGC Human Resource Development Center of Gujarat University for providing opportunity to me to deliver the lecture on this online refresher course for the physical education. Thank you very much.